Hey, hi, Kim. Hi. Hmm. Sorry, I'm fiddling with some new things. Got some music going. Is that a little too loud? Can I still be heard? Hi, Marcella. Hi, Joe. Oh. Morning. Yes, I guess it is morning for you. Very early morning at that. Alright, sweet. I just wanted to make sure the music wasn't too loud. Just kind of hoping that the music would drown out the sound of my fan going off. Oh, Nicole's here. Hi, guys. Just trying to get stuff together. Alright. Hi. Oh, it's going. Just sitting here. Actually, I've been kind of pondering a new idea for the book that would come after Bitten, as a matter of fact. Bitten. Oh, you can hear the fan too. Of course you can. Hold on a minute. That should be a little better. So yeah, I was actually been sitting around kind of pondering what I'm going to do after Bitten, because obviously Bitten is next after Claude, but I've got to kind of ponder what I'm going to do after that. Kind of helps to have a plan. Well, I'm glad it's not distracting, but I know how obnoxious a fan noise can be over mic, so it's alright, my room won't bake me in the meantime. Let's see here, make sure I got everything. Alright. Oh, more and more people. Hello. So, as I sit here and I debate precisely how I'm going to go about doing Bitten, and also considering the book that would come after that, and the ones that would come after that, I find myself wondering, and you guys as readers especially, that's a question that I would present to you is, do you have a preference in a book of how many sex scenes there would be? Because I know with Mauld there was two, whereas with Claude there was only the one. And I know it's all going to be... It's going to be different based off the book, but I've always wondered what you guys thought. Like, what you would prefer to see in a book in terms of how many. How do you go about your writing? Outline? Just... yes. My writing process is, my writing process is a disaster, actually. It's an absolute disaster. I have tried outlines before, and any outline I've ever made would not be something that any person other than me would be able to understand, and oftentimes they end up only wrote when I'm stuck or when I feel I need the help. It's a bit helter-skelter. I write the same way. I write all over the place most of the time, so... so yeah, sometimes I use an outline, sometimes I don't. It just depends. Hi, Catherine. Hi, Bo. And yeah, that was kind of how I thought about it, Marcella, was, it really depended upon the length of the book. Because both Claude and Mauld were fairly short little novellas. And Mauld called for Nicole. I think Mauld actually did call for a couple of them, just because of the way the first one went. Claude, I thought, fit with just the one, but I mean, yeah, that's typically how I tend to look at it. True. Too much sex, and you end up with. Well, it ends up not being a romance novel, doesn't it? So. But I think a lot of things it depends on. As many as is needed to tell the story. True. As I said, Mauld ended up having two because I felt it was a good idea to have the two. But Claude only needed the one. Hi, Sharon. I think it really just depends. But, I mean, coming from a background, I know I've mentioned this before, but I don't know if I got into it. But I actually have, I come from a background of role-playing. And oftentimes the role plays that I got into with other people, you found, much like with the books, where things were, it differed based off not only the needs of the story, but also just the writers themselves. It really came down to the fact that sometimes the story, whether it come in the form of an RP or a book, is going to sit there and have differing needs, whether that be for character development, plot development, or gratuitous sex scenes. Mostly. Well, I mean, I write these books, so I can't exactly cast stones about being thirsty, so I'm not gonna disparage anybody for being a little thirsty, because I'm just as guilty. With the length of your book, I'm okay with anything between 2 and 3. Yeah, you know, honestly, I don't think anything, at least in book form, I don't think I've actually gone above 2. I don't think. I would have to double check, but I'm pretty sure I didn't go above 2. But most of my books haven't been above. I'm thinking the longest one that I've done recently was Claiming, and that was about. I mean, that was a little bit longer than the Urban Jungle series has been. So. I completely lost my train of thought. So, oh, and Noah's here. And so the trouble begins. Oh. Oh, yes, my shirt. My shirt. Thank you, Noah. I forgot about that. Yes, yes. My shirt, everybody. It's flipped on screen, but it says Shift Happens. And that was actually a little gift from Noah. Shockingly, that was all he sent me. He didn't actually go overboard and send me something. Well, some of you, most of you have been here to see the things Noah asks and gets into, so I'm sure you can guess what he might send. Which one is door number 1? Because that's my closet. That's the exit to the rest of the house. No more coffee, Bo. That's why I'm drinking water. I've had a pot of coffee already, and I don't need any more. At least not for a few more hours. Well, neither Noah or I have, recently made the journey away from bears, but Noah especially, hasn't wrote just bears. So, shift works. He's got Mr. Rabbit. No, that is not what I said when we had that conversation, Noah. Thank you very much. Oh no, Bo, I would have. As a matter of fact, if he had sent me something dirty, such as he just said a vibrator or a dildo, I would have mentioned it, because I like to put Noah on blast. Actually, Noah, pass me along but say, I hope you have, like, a link or something for it, because, I mean, Catherine wants that shirt, so post it in the den, Noah. Of course you have that shirt, Joe. Did he send it to you, too? There's a great sense of irony to the fact that I sit here and act bashful when Noah starts giving me a hard time when I sit here and I write... Well, I mean, I don't write smut, but I do write smutty scenes. Although I have been known to write smut in the past. Some of those RPs I wrote were, not exactly necessarily wrote for their quality of story. But it was actually those years of RP that actually really developed the writing style that I have now, which I'm still kind of exploring and trying to get out there to you guys. And that's essentially what this Urban Jungle series is for, is to just do some small little novellas. That way I can pave the way to longer books down the road. And each of the tropes that I'm doing in them is going to be addressed again later. I'm not just going to do this one enemies to lovers like I did with Mauld, or friends to lovers like I've done with Claude. And Bitten will be second chance. That's the main theme of that one, is second chance. All of them are going to be addressed again in other books, probably longer books. But I wanted to get the Urban Jungle series out to you guys to kind of explore those themes, to get them out there, to explore them a little bit and kind of show you guys what I'm going to try to start to do from now on. Which is essentially a variety. And you know, I like to bring my own style to it, you know, bring in that what I hope is a good dose of humor, and make it enjoyable, and maybe sometimes journey into the darker side of things. Like the book that comes after Bitten, I'm having a little bit of a darker plan for that one, so we'll see how that pans out. But it's just, it's all in all, this series has been fun because I get to kind of poke and prod at different things. Oh, people are messaging, hold on. It's one thing to write behind closed door and another to be... Yeah, the people who... I write it behind closed doors, so I'm a writer. The people who do it on camera in front of people are called cam models or porn stars. And, that's not happening. Yeah, and talking about them, that's different. Especially when you have a certain somebody who likes to come in here and ask very, very personal, invasive questions. Won't mention any names. Sure, we all know who's guilty of that one. Alright. You know, dark, yes. For the BDSM, I absolutely think I look like a disaster today. Noah, thank you, though. My hair is... This is why I keep my hair short. But yes, Rick. BDSM could very well come into it, but when I say dark, I typically mean, it's kind of like how Maul played with the darker side, if only because enemies to lovers is supposed to be a trope that will be dark. At least in my opinion, it should be. It should be something that flirts with that dark side. Just show us your deepest, darkest ideas. Joe, we've had this conversation. We've had this talk. There are some things I'm just not putting out there. Where is a good place to start? Well, I absolutely think either Mauled or Claude in my Urban Jungle series that I'm doing right now would be an excellent place to start. These are my little showcases, my introduction to the direction that I'm trying to take for the future. Mauled covers an enemies to lovers kind of story. It's got a fox shifter and a jaguar shifter, conflicting personalities. What I hope is a spicy sex scene. Good personalities. I hope people really liked my fox shifter in that one, which is great because it was great. It was amazing. I loved writing him. He was a great deal of fun. And then we have my recent one. Actually, I just officially released it on Friday, which was Claude, which is my friends to lovers. Brain blipped out on me again. My friends to lovers, gentler story. Gentler compared to Mauled, but I think this is a good place to start. Each of the 3 books, because there's going to be a 3rd one coming out, it circles around the same central plot. Each of them can be read as standalones, or you can read them all and still get your own unique little experience in that regard. So yeah, I would say my Urban Jungle series would be a really good one to start with. What can we expect next after Urban Jungle? Well, I was just talking about that, Noah. It's still in the works. I'm ahead of the game this time, in that I do actually have a good idea that's coming, and actually the inspiration came from that, based off of, something that I posted earlier. I posted earlier in the week about, I asked people to post pictures of different cute things, and somebody posted a picture that kind of inspired me to kind of carry with that, so we'll probably be seeing something focused around that. Oh, Shannon, you love Trent. Normally I hear from people about Ash. I'm glad you like Trent. He deserves a little bit more attention. No, Sharon, no date. But, there will be a chance for a couple of people to win something later on. And I will be getting to that after I'm done rambling incessantly. Yes! 2 Shannons. Sharon. That was Sharon. I read ahead and read Shannon. So Sharon, there will be something to win, just not a date. Shannon, however, Lucas's story. Yes, Lucas's story is next. That is Bitten. He is coming up next. I know I keep teasing you guys with him. I know he keeps getting flirted with, and he's only kind of, popped up, in mentions. But he's gonna definitely show up. He's got his own little story coming. He's got his own little tale, his own drama, and his own romance, everything. So yes, you absolutely will see him. I do, Nikki. Let's see here. I have to find my own video. One moment. I should have had this ready. Oh, thank you, Noah. Alright. Oh, I'm glad the music is working. I am actually just playing a lush lo-fi playlist on Spotify. I listen to it sometimes when I'm writing, though usually I tend to use music that fits the scene when I'm writing. But I actually listen to this playlist when I'm like relaxing or going to sleep or reading. Basically, it's what I use to be chill. Terry, I would start, I mean, honestly, with the Urban Jungle series is the best place to start, and you can read either, there's only 2 out of 3 out at the moment, and it's Mauled and it's Claude, and either one can be read. You could read one and then the other in either order, and that's the same thing when when the third one, Bitten, comes out. You'll be able to read them in any order, any number that you wish. It doesn't really matter. Just if you want a, it really just depends on which one you want to read first, based off your preference. If you want to read an enemies to lovers, slightly business espionage, I don't know what to call it. Words are failing me, which is ironic. Um, Start with Mold. If you want a sweeter story about friends who both have to face a threat to their home and are falling in love with one another, then I would go with Claude. So, oh my god. Absolutely, Marcella. Name suggestions or character name suggestions I'm always open for, if only because I tend to struggle with names for characters. Um, my family does not read my writing, actually, Noah. If only because they don't want to read. They don't want to read the some of the scenes that I put out there. They're very happy that I write, though. They're very pleased. I mean, I'll be dead honest. For years, ever since I was younger, my family absolutely insisted that I should do something with my writing, and I was always like, nah, I mean, it's just a hobby for me at this point. And now look at me. So they're both happy and a little smug. Sounds like the beginning of a bad porno. Thanks, Joe. I so much appreciate that. Do you build story or character playlists at all? I should. I've done it for roleplay characters in the past. I have done it for roleplay characters. I on my former one of my YouTube accounts, because for some reason I have multiples. I had playlists that were devoted to either a character or to my character and another character together. So I actually should do that. I do. I have several playlists, and I do have several songs that I'll seek out when I'm writing, and I've done it before. But I haven't actually established a playlist on a book yet. And I should. That would be interesting. Let's see. Mika, that could be either or pronounced. Jasper and Ty. I do like Ty. I've always been fond of Ty. And Micah, I do like that. Or Mika. I think I like Micah pronunciation better. But, is there anything else I've missed while I'm sitting here figuring out what I need to ramble on about next? Oh, hello, Molly Ann. Hello. Have you ever been with an older man? Yes, one of my exes is 15 years older than me. Brat. A mentor to lovers. And actually, Noah, you've called me out. That's actually the book that I'm considering for after Bitten. The one then could also be a little bit darker than some of the other books I wrote, so so yes, I have been, though I will say I have dated older men, older than me, but I wouldn't say that that was necessarily an inspiration for this. It was more the mentors to the mentor apprentice to lovers just kind of interests me. It piques my interest. So it's something that I'm actually considering doing for the book that would come after Bitten. So I like it when authors publish a book playlist. You should. You know what? When I finally actually do come up with a playlist for one of these books, I will absolutely do so. So that's definitely something I will consider doing. In the future. I keep having just my brain blips off. Oh, Terry. Oh, that is probably the most mild question he's asked me. which is probably why I chose to answer it rather than what I normally do when he asks very invasive questions. This is normal. Oh. It's actually, as far as the inspiration goes, I'm trying to find the inspiration. Where did it go? So actually, for my denners, I'm going to post up real quick in the den when it decides to cooperate. There we go. I'm gonna post that up real quick. It's the picture. I just put it up in the den for my denners, and if you're not part of the den, feel free to join. I posted up the image that has actually inspired me, that actually inspired the whole mentors to lovers thing. I see you like to be handled. You like experienced men. Oh my god. Get out of here. You are in timeout. Always coming in here causing trouble. Oh. Noah and I have never met in person, though we do talk frequently. So. Oh, I'm glad you liked it, Rowan. Well, Molly-Ann, actually, I'm kind of journeying away from the Embreg thing. It's not something I've ever really been very good at, so it's just, as far as the paranormal aspect, however, even as a kid, I was very interested in the supernatural and the magical, so it's something that I love to write. I love those things. I love magic. I love supernatural creatures, all that good stuff. So it's just something that I naturally just fell into doing. And it's been really great to see people who also really enjoy reading it. So that's really what it is. It's just, I kind of fell into it because I loved it to begin with. And, so here we are, as I'm just writing these things and trying to get myself out there, get people to enjoy these books with me. So, excuse me. So, oh, hold on, I'm seeing notifications here. I see people are looking at the picture I posted. Yes, but that picture I posted, that was the one that drew my attention and kind of sparked something in my mind for the upcoming book, which I'm gonna be dead honest, it's always really great when an idea kind of just plops in your lap. Because some ideas you have to work for. Some stories you have to work for. Other ones, like this one, just kind of tumble into your lap. And it's nice. It makes my job a little bit easier because it means that before I even get to the point where I'm writing it, I already have a great idea of where it's coming from or where it's headed. So, have I read any of the... Yes, Sharon, I've read them to death. I have several. I'm looking over right now and I'm catching Memnoch the Devil. I've got a collection of a few of the new tales. I've even got The Witching Hour, Servant of Bones. I've got a lot of her books, especially the... Who is mashing the frowny face? Oh my god. Alright. Ugh. Gnats in this house. So, I'll get you guys down here a little bit. You know, I've honestly considered other paranormals, other than shifters. I don't know about Vampires could be interesting if done right. I'm very picky about my vampires. I'm not sure about Angel, but a demon story could be fun. Doing an Incubus. Been playing with that. Feel like a demon would be a fun thing to play with. Curses stuff, I'm guessing, falls under just the general magic category, and yes, that's definitely something I have considered doing. And magic for me, doing magic would be an investment, though, because of how unbelievably picky I am about magic and how much I would want to build an entire world around it and establish everything. So magic for me is something that I would have to kind of slowly dip into. Kind of figure it out. No sparkles. You get no sparkles. Oh. I will not begrudge anybody who likes their sparkly vampires, but I like my vampires a little meaner, I guess. I don't know how to put it. I have very strong views about vampires and what I enjoy reading about them. So I'd love to see my twist on it. I don't know if it would necessarily be a twist. It would just be my particular interpretation, my take. Fallen Angel. Aren't fallen angels just demons? Semantics. But demons could provide an interesting foil for as a love interest, both against an angelic foe, or, well, not foe, but lover. Hey, enemies and lovers, there we go. It's just flavored water. That's it. Nothing special. It's strawberry peach flavored water. Do you ever write anything that may have happened in a relationship? Well, I'm guessing you mean... I'm going to assume you mean a relationship of mine, which, yes, it's happened. I think there's no writer out there that isn't guilty, so to speak, of incorporating parts of themselves and parts of their own experience into a book. And I have definitely done it. There are characters that take... several characters that I've written over years, both in roleplay and in books, that take from me, and sometimes they take from other people. And so, yes, some of the things that I've incorporated into my stories, into my romances, have come from places of very personal experience. Whether that be something I've experienced or something I wanted to experience. So, yes, I would say that I have wrote what has happened in a relationship before. And I wouldn't say manlier, Kim. I would just say that I have a very strong view that vampires are inhuman, predatorial creatures. And I felt as though the Twilight series just kind of skated right under that. They found a way to get around it, with that whole, like basically vegetarian vampires, I think is what they went with. That was why they had the gold eyes. It's a really badly done, well need of being taken care of Phoenix. You nosy. Anyways. So... oh, God. I'm sorry. I'm like sitting here trying to focus. I'm not answering you guys' questions, and I got Noah just chanting, "Tattoo! Tattoo! Tattoo!" I probably should have put vodka in this instead. Don't heart that. Don't heart that. But to go back to the comment about, things that I've incorporated from life, I mean, I can't say that I've ever actually done anything in real life that was enemies to lovers. I just really enjoy things that are, the conflict, the bouncing off of people. And I like the spiciness that it created. And like I really enjoyed finally making Ash and Trent finally come together and bump their heads in the same way that I very much enjoyed taking Liam and Matthew in this latest book in Claude and putting them together finally. There was less of the heat and the smoke, or less of the smoke and the clash, I suppose I should say. But it was still ultimately enjoyable to bring them together. So it's like, in a lot of ways, a lot of these books are wish fulfillment, for both reader and writer. Oh, the Phoenix book. Thank you, Noah. Now you got Joe back on that. Oh, the two of you. I don't know, Joe. We talked about that one a little bit, and that one would be very tricky to... I would still very much have to consider how to go about that. I still don't know, in all honesty. So... my back. I need a new computer chair. Alright. Oh, things are happening. Anyways, getting distracted because I'm seeing things light up over here on my screen. I'm trying to keep track of everything, and it's like getting out of my... I'm losing sight of things. Oh, before I forget, if you haven't already signed up for the newsletter, absolutely do so if you want to keep up to date. Currently, there is, when you sign up, you do get a free book to go with it. And I'm actually in the process, haven't completely settled on just yet, on what just yet, but there will be another book added into it in its place, and it's going to be a little mini spin-off thing, based around Urban Jungle. So, and I'm thinking it's going to be an Ash and Trent little thing that will go to those who sign up for the newsletter and those who already have the newsletter. Oh, let's see here. Yes, thank you, Noah. You're so on top of things today when you're not giving me a hard time. Aliens. Honestly, I don't know. I don't even know if that would fall into the paranormal thing, and I feel like I would end up just tailspinning on an alien story. I think it would just become an ungodly mess if I tried. I do have another job. It's not just writing for the Espen. There is other income coming. Yeah. Oh, Joe is just coming in swinging all of a sudden. Mauld was enemies to lovers, and Claude was friends to lovers. Bitten, the closest I can get to calling it trope on that one is going to be second chances. It's going to be a story about two men who, when they were younger, had a thing. They had more than a fling, less than a relationship. It was complicated because they came from two different groups. Because with the Urban Jungle series, the city shifters and the country shifters are opposed to one another in a lot of levels, and each of the characters from Bitten are from either group. and when they were younger, despite the fact that they did come together, they did care about each other, they did have a relationship of sorts, it fell apart because of their differing allegiances. There's the word I was looking for. And Bitten is going to cover that a bit, but it's also going to cover when years down the road they are forced to, after not seeing each other for years, they are forced back together and have to deal with their past and deal with the present that they'll be thrown into, because much like Maud and Claude, there's going to be a lot of drama surrounding their lives that they're going to have to face down. So Bitten is going to be fun, and I've actually started writing it, and I will absolutely keep everybody in the den and through my personal and whatnot. I will keep you all updated. Maybe even go out on a limb and post a spoiler or two. Well, not a spoiler, but a snippet or two. I've got to get better about that. I think in so many ways I've gotten so private about my writing, but I actually love sharing it with you guys. So I think with Bitten, I'm definitely going to keep you guys more updated. Not only just in the Facebook group, but also in the newsletter. I've got to use that newsletter more often. A Christmas short story in the pipe. Good Lord, woman. It's August. I'm only on the book after Bitten at the moment, and you want the Phoenix book. You're very demanding. Oh, Lord. Oh, before I forget, considering we are 40 minutes into this, it is time that I address the competition, because otherwise I'll forget, and then I'll blurb it all out at the last second. Let me get that to you guys real quick. This one's very much like the one with Maud, because it very much worked, and I have enjoyed it. I'm still waiting on my physical copy of Claude to show up so that I can send it to one of the winners. But it's going to be just like the last one. Essentially, I'll post I'll put a post on my author's page for you guys for the people who want to participate to post this up. But basically, I'll post that up. You guys take your review of Claude, and you post a link to it on that post. I'm sorry, I saw Noah's name and I got scared. You take your review and you post it in that post, and then at sometime in the next few days, say I'll keep it up for 72 hours, I'll randomly get a couple of people. I'll randomly select a couple of people. It's always random. And those people, if they're North American, because I'm sorry for everybody who is not in the US, shipping costs are awful, and I'm sorry, but for those in the US that I can ship to, they'll get either a physical signed copy of Claude, or if they want to wait till Bitten comes out, they can get that instead. For people outside of the US, however, you can basically win a chance. If you win, you'll get a chance to get a free digital copy of Bitten when it's out, or Maud, if you want that one instead, if you haven't read that yet. So to reiterate, I'll put the post up. Anybody who wants a chance to win, just post your Amazon review link in the comments. I'll pick 2 people, they get a book. There we go. And I'll keep that up for 72 hours for everybody to participate on, and it will be on my author's page. And while I'm sitting here blabbing away, there's posts. Oh, who's the bottom in Bitten? Liam. was my bottom in Claude, and I just realized I completely screwed up the answer to that question. The actual answer to your question, Joe. Maybe I do need more coffee. The actual answer to your question, Joe, is there won't be a assigned bottom in Bitten. So, yeah, I know, Nicole. The postal just and the saddest thing is I'm not terribly far from the Canadian border, um, but even still, just shipping to Canada is ridiculous. I had a friend in Canada I offered to ship something to, um, and that was when I found out just how awful trying to ship something just across the border is. Holy crap. It's bad. So, for anybody not in the US, it's the digital copy. Sorry. Um, yes, a signed book. Absolutely a signed book. Um, um, well, Terry, I wrote a little bit when I was younger. Um, like when I was very young, and I just got into it. I would write little stories here and there. And it wasn't until I was an adult and kind of got better access to the internet that I discovered role playing forums online. And from there, it just kind of snowballed. It became something that I loved doing as a hobby. I loved writing stories with other people, and it was amazing. Um, and I've really enjoyed what I've been doing, and I finally decided to take it to the point where I can share books with you guys. Um, and I'm still getting used to some of the aspects of what it means to be an author, such as getting on live video and talking to you guys. Um, but the story writing, the characters, the plot, the story itself, that's still something that at least I know I'm familiar with, and it's something that I still love to do. It's just now I'm figuring out how to share it with everybody. um, yeah, I know, Nicole. It's really bad how bad it can really be. Um, it's just that extra few miles, that non-physical line between our countries, and it just cranks it up. Oh my god. It's getting kind of tart. Actually, yeah, show of hands of how many people have actually read Claude. Is it breaking up? That's unfortunate. It shouldn't be. I should be golden, as a matter of fact. I was about to say, yeah, I should be actually golden on that. I'm checking at the moment. And I've got... Ah! Sorry! I clicked the wrong thing and it put me out of the video. Oh... Man. I'm a mess. I'm a disaster. But... Well, absolutely, Marcella. I mean, take your time. But, well, once you get to it, please let me know what you thought. I'm always, and I feel like every author is like this, but I love to hear back. Whether that be a review or even just a comment, whatever it might be. I am available. I love to hear back. I love to hear those things. So yeah, I'm a few hours from the border. So, which actually I haven't been to Canada since I was in the 6th grade. um, Tell us a real life freaky story. Well, once upon a time when I started becoming an author, I met this very difficult, invasive man known as Noah Harris, who liked to ask me really freaky stories. Yeah, I know, Marcella. Oh, my brain's all over the place today. I'm so my brain is much like my hair today, all over the place. And before you go, oh God, it is almost time, isn't it? Which actually, on that note, for everyone who is in here, or watching this later, because I will be sharing this as a video later, I will be posting up on my author's page, because I know not everybody here is in the den, so on my author's page, I will be posting the relevant links. I have, I'll put my newsletter sign up. I'll also put the link to my den, my readers group. I'll put up the thing for Claude. All of that good stuff for anybody to sort through, to go through. And as a reminder, I will be posting up also on my author's page the post for people to have a chance to win, depending on where they're at, a signed copy of a book or a digital copy of Bitten when it finally gets released, which I still have to finish writing. For that, all you got to do, post your review link up within the next 72 hours after I put that post up, and there you go, and you'll get it. So on that note, thank you, Terry, and thank you for coming, and thank you, Rick, also for coming, and thank you so much for coming. I'm really growing to enjoy these things. I was a little nervous the first time I ever did it, and I'll still get a little about it, but you guys make it enjoyable, especially when you guys help me gang up and pick on Noah because he's being a brat. But thank you guys so much for coming, and maybe I'll even do a little less formal video in the future. I'm sorry, I just read Noah's comment. I know some people have advised like a casual like coffee night or a wine night, which me drinking wine on video with you guys would be an entertaining endeavor. But I think maybe I'll try something less formal next time, before we get into Bitten's release stuff. But I'll keep you guys updated, and I'll keep you guys updated on Bitten. So look out for those posts. And thank you, Nikki. Have a good night, and I hope you enjoyed Mauled. Bye, Kim. So overall, thank you guys again, and I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your Sunday, and that your Monday is not terrible, and it's a good Monday for once. So, have a good night, guys. Bye.